Hey, my awesome friends. I have a super cool surprise today. Surprise to me and to you, I guess. I just got a box from Rousseau Plant Care. I have no idea what's in this box, so we're gonna find out together. They said they were gonna send me some stuff, but I'm not 100% sure what's in it. So all I've done so far is black out my address. So let's check it out. I am super excited. I want to do a moss pole experiment, so I think this is what we got in here. I recently bought one of their orbs for my Wenslingeri anthurium. I just haven't hung it yet, but it's in there and it's doing well. All right, so let's see what we got in here. We got moss poles. It doesn't look so much like it can you tell they're green? They're green color, so there's 4 of them in here. These are so great because they are, Rousseau makes theirs front closing and they're stackable. So I really am excited to try these out. Bring back the moss poles. Let's see what else we have. Oh, this is like, there's 4 bags of the moss. So it looks like there's moss, leca, and bark. Can you see that? So these must be like kits, like moss pole kits, because there's 4 bags of this in here and there's 4 moss poles. So I'm gonna go with kit. But there's more, there's more. What else do we have? All right, we have bases, clips. So far I have 2 bases. Whoops. More clips. And I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's super sturdy. And there's 2 in here. More pieces. We got some wick stuff here. This looks like a water meter here. Oh, there's 2 of those too. Okay, so I have 2 each of these in 2 different shapes, but they're the same, they're just different. I have 2 of these that are exactly the same. 2 of what I think are bases, and then a couple clip looking things. So some stickers, some directions. Oh, I see, we have directions. Let's see what it says. Okay, we have connector clips. So these are the connector clips. We have starter pots, which are these. So I guess you can start your plant in there. Base clips, so these are the bases. And then base clips. And then these are the drippers to water the moss poles. So here is what it looks like. And I'm super excited to do this. So I think I'm gonna try it out first with, I have a Bulbasaur monstera. Okay, so I wanna do the Bulbasaur monstera, and then I have a tricolor epipremnum. Both of them are pretty small, so this gives me a great opportunity to like give them their start on the moss pole, and then we can do this the right way, okay? Okay, so Stay tuned, because that's what I'm gonna do next, is set it up. Okay, so we're gonna build this as I think we're supposed to do this. So this is gonna be a very beginner tutorial. If I can do it, you can do it, because I am not an experienced moss pole person. So first I took the bag of moss-ish stuff he sent me, which this is really long grain moss, which I really love. It's really good moss. And then there's some bark and some leca that was in there. So I just put some of my rooting potion in here and kind of just let it fully absorb. And now we're gonna build it. First, let me say that you can tell that Rousseau Plant Care are plant growers, not just people selling a moss pole and not caring. Like, this is so thought out and so well constructed, each piece. Even to send you the moss to put in it is really good. I really enjoy this so far. He is not paying me to do this. He just sent me some stuff and I'm gonna try it out and I'm gonna make a video on it. So this is my honest opinion of what I'm seeing, and it's gonna be me basing it off of this little piece of paper here of how to set it up. So I'm just gonna wing it, and this is exactly how it's gonna come if you were to order. I assume it's called a beginner kit or a moss pole kit, because it does come with everything. So, except the plant. Like, honestly, everything but the plant. You got it. So let's do this. Okay, here we go. I have the moss pole here. Green side goes out, and then we got a little window to see what's happening in there. So I'm gonna put this down. Like I said, I've let my moss stuff simmer and absorb. I'm just gonna give it a little mix here. Try to mix all of the little pieces into it. I just put a whole bag of what he sent me into 2 different bowls, because I'm doing 2 different setups. I don't know if I'm gonna need it all or not, so we're gonna find out. I'm gonna put this on here. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this first. Maybe not. Maybe I'll build it first and then stuff the moss down inside. How about that? That sounds like a cleaner way to do it. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not sure which side. So I think this is gonna be the top, because it has extra space, which is where I would put the next one onto it, and then this be the bottom, but I'm not 100% sure. So the way he has it is you fold it here, and then they're gonna go crisscross into the slots. Crisscross, and then the little tab is gonna go into the little slot. So I'm just gonna put this together like this first. I'm gonna do this all the way down. Boy, I hope I'm doing this right, because this is a one and done. I'm not gonna retake all this apart and redo it again. So if I mess up, we're learning together, and you don't have to make the same mistakes that I do. So it goes, according to the picture, the tabs go over and in, not under and in, if that makes sense. I think potentially you're supposed to build it opened, but I'm not 100% sure. So this is what it looks like when it's all closed up, like this. So this is what I'm gonna do. And I got my first base here. And let's see, maybe this is, okay. So the part with the space does go down, because it fits on there just perfectly. See that? And then there's a clip. The clip here is gonna go in the back, and it's gonna go in there's 2 slots, one on either side, and then the clip is gonna go in those slots. Snap. Maybe. Do I have the right clips? Is there different clips? Yes, there's 2 different clips. Okay, so this is the base clip that goes down there like that. And then this other clip is what holds the moss poles together if you're connecting more than one together. So here we go. We got the base on here just fine. And I'm gonna see, so this is gonna sit in here. Oh, it just slides right on there. Like, what am I doing? I made that so complicated. It slides right on there. All right, so first I think I'm gonna stuff it with moss before I put my plant in there and see how that goes. I'm just gonna see if this works out for me. If not, I may have to take it apart, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see. This seemed like what made the most sense to me, but again, I haven't done this before, so I could be completely wrong. I'm just putting it down in there, and I do have like a skewer that I can kind of poke it down with once I get it full up. I may not have needed to wet both of these bags because I don't need a full moss pole immediately because my plants are pretty small that I'm putting in here. So I could probably just like add to it later and not have to do it all like right now. But here we are. Let me grab my little poker. All right, so we'll just poke this moss down in there. Make sure I'm just making sure that I'm filling in the gaps. I don't want major gaps down there. I don't want to pack it like so tightly that there's no room for the roots to grow into or no room for like any kind of airflow, but I don't want any big gaps either. Like, that's what makes sense to me. So hopefully that's correct. A little sneaky peek coming out of there. I do not need this entire container. There's plenty of leftover here. Even though it's not even full yet, I know that there's gonna be leftover. So let me just make sure I got it all in the front. Let's push that down. Tyler, if you see this, please tell me if I made this happen really difficult and I didn't need to be so complicated with it. Although this is really simple, like, I don't think it gets much simpler than this. I'm just not sure if I'm doing it the proper way. And I don't know how much we're gonna need up top because I do have to put the dripper in the top. So I know that I'm gonna need space for that. Let me try that out real quick. You guys are tilted. Let me fix you if I can. Oh, that's a little bit better. All right, so the dripper. Yeah, that should be good. Maybe a little bit more. Even the dripper has, and I'm gonna show you in a minute, but even the dripper has a place to clip into so it doesn't just fall over. He literally thought of everything. He or them, I don't know if Tyler has other people there that are working on this with him or if he's coming up with all this by himself, but hats off to whoever's involved. So here's the top piece that's gonna go in there where I put my water in there, and it's gonna drip down into the moss pole. And this is a water level indicator. So these little side tabs here snap into these up top. So let me just put this in here like this. And it fits so nicely. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it definitely does. pretty sure that goes on the inside. Yep, it looks like it. So here we go. We have the moss pole. This is the easiest moss pole in the world. The reason I'm not so versed in moss poles is because I tried to make my own moss pole at one point, and it was so messy and so complicated that I just never wanted to do another one again for the rest of my actual existence. And it was also a real pain in the butt to maintain. But the way Tyler has this like put together and constructed with the top and the water dripper in there, it doesn't get any easier than that. All I'm gonna have to do is add water to the top, and that's it. Like, it's gonna do everything all by itself. And the fact that this is a front closure is gonna make it really easy when it's time to level up my plant and I have like space. It's gonna make it super easy to where I can just open the front tabs and take it out. And I don't have to destroy my roots, destroy the moss pole, and destroy everything else. Like, honestly, I don't think I'll ever get another moss pole that's not front facing ever again. These are just so well done. I don't know what else to say. And it's sturdy. It's sturdy too. Like, it's good material. It's good material. This is made very well. And once again, I am not getting paid to say this at all. Let me get my substrate. So the first one I'm gonna do is the epipremnum. And I've already taken it out of the substrate that I had it in and washed off the roots and pulled off anything that was rotty on there. And this is what it looks like now. Here's the back and how it's gonna grow up the moss pole, and here's the front of it. So I'm just gonna pot this in there like this, and I'm gonna secure it on there, and we're gonna watch this thing grow together. So let me just put a little bit of my substrate down in the bottom. And my chunky mix has tree fern fiber, cocoa coir, perlite, big chunky perlite, leca, baby chip bark, horticulture charcoal. I don't know what else. I can't remember. I've done videos on it though. Before I put this in there and backfill it, I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of great white on here. It's so hot in here, you guys. I have my fan blowing directly on me, which is blowing this all over the place. So, whoopsie. All right, now let me put this down in here. Backfilling it is going to be the tricky part while not messing up the camera view. Okay, so my phone died halfway through me filling this, but here it is. I backfilled with my substrate here. I put a little bit of saran wrap stuff there to hold it, just so it's this right here, just so it could maybe stick a little bit and grow up the moss pole. And this is what we have right now. I think it's beautiful. So now I'm gonna build the bulbasaur.